video again, and the same way we started off. My male versus female hamster. I'm not sure when this is being uploaded, so, you know, I'm not like saying my last video because I don't know when this is being uploaded, but we are going to be, we're going to be talking about pellets. No, come here, look, I just spilled them all over me, look, you want to eat some? That's the only way I could get her to stay with me. So we are going to be talking about pellets for rabbits in particular. Don't mind if I'm doing this because I have all pellets over me now. So pellets, if you don't know what they are, they're like little food. And a lot of people feed pellets like a lot of people who are inexperienced and impulse buy rabbits feed like only pellets or pellets and very limited hay, Daisy, and very limited hay and things like that. Now, pellets, you should only be feeding, people say you should give a 1/4 of a cup of pellets per 5 to 6 pound rabbit. I personally think the max amount of pellets you should be feeding a day is a 1/4 cup, even if you have a 25 billion pound rabbit. Okay, that's a bit over there, right? But I have a jar of pellets here. This is Daisy's pellets, and if you see any of those like little other things, those are just herbs I put in there. But you should not be buying the pellets with the little fun, colorful stuff. You basically want the opposite for hamsters. For hamsters, you want a lot of variety, a lot of different things. For rabbits, you just want the same boring thing over and over and over. And in here I have a little 1/2 tablespoon scoop. So I feed Daisy, I would say about maybe 1 to 3 tablespoons of pellets every day. She has about 1 tablespoon of pellets in there right now. I feed her about, I would say, 1 tablespoon in the morning, 1 tablespoon at night, and then sometimes if I do like training or need like not clicker training because I don't like, or target training or whatever like that, sometimes I use pellets as treats, or sometimes I'll just give her a pellet as a treat for fun. So yeah, but I don't like give her a lot of pellets. Some people give 1/8 of a cup of pellets like every day. If you have a baby rabbit, a lot of people say you all have to feed alfalfa pellets up to 3 months of age, up to 6 months of age, but I personally believe that you can stop feeding alfalfa pellets or stop feeding alfalfa hay at least at 3 months, because if you feed alfalfa hay and pellets right up to that 6-month mark, alfalfa hay and pellets has a lot of calcium in it and not a lot of fiber, so and a lot of fat in it. So your hamster, your rabbit is gonna end up being on the heavier side if you feed them alfalfa hay and alfalfa pellets all the way up to 6 months of age. So for adult rabbits, so 6 months of age and older, should be only consuming Timothy hay based pellets. Small Pet Select is a really good pellet option. I can't get Small Pet Select pellets because I live in Canada and they don't ship to Canada, and they might ship to Canada, but it would cost like over $100 to get it shipped to where I live, plus the cost for the pellet itself. So that's not in my budget. But so you want to only be feeding Timothy based pellets. I don't know if they make orchard grass hay based pellets. I have to do more research about that. And you shouldn't be feeding too many, because obviously it's not good. And 80 to 90% of a rabbit's diet is hay, and then 5 to 10% of your rabbit's diet is leafy greens. I have leafy green right here. So 5 to 10% would be leafy greens, and then 5% or less would be pellets and treats. So yes, people do consider pellets as treats, and I do consider pellets as treats as well. Some people feed 0 pellets, like no pellets, like 1 around rabbits. Feeds absolute. Can you come forward, please? She's almost on her pellets. She has like 3 left. 1 around rabbits feeds a 100% 0 pellet diet. which is really good. If you can do that, that is really, really good. I personally, it's a personal decision. A lot of people feed pellets, a lot of people don't feed pellets. I like to feed her a small amount because it makes her really, really happy. I gave her a little bit of pellets, I would say at like 6 a.m. and like maybe like 8 p.m. So she has a lot of time to digest it through her body. But I like to give her pellets because it makes her really, really happy, and you just have to weigh the pros and cons for yourself. Would you rather have a really, really extremely healthy rabbit's diet, or maybe have a little bit less of a healthy rabbit's diet? Not that pellets aren't healthy, they're just more sugar and more processed, so that's why they're considered as a treat. So would you rather have an extremely well-balanced, extremely healthy rabbit's diet, like with no pellets, or have a little bit less healthy of a diet, but your rabbit would be really happy? So I'm not trying to say you should do one or do the other. It's really a personal decision. Maybe one day, like when I'm done this jar, because I got her on January, I think January 21st, but I might be wrong. I think though. And I've had these pellets from January 21st, and you can see that it's hardly even left the top of the jar. So this will last me a really good chunk of time, but when I run out, I might not buy new pellets. It just depends. So pellets are definitely not necessary. A lot of breeders and backyard breeders feed pellets because they are cheap. If you're buying the really processed, really low quality pellets, they're gonna be cheap, and you get a really big bag. Sometimes you can buy them at your local farm store for a huge big bulk bag for a really less price, and they're not very good quality. So a lot of breeders will feed that, and like very limited hay, no veggies. Oh pellets. Because it is cheap and they want to produce rabbits for meat. So, and to like fatten them up to make them get bigger so they can get more meat. It's sad, but it's the truth. It's the course of life. I don't want to talk about it because it makes me sad, so we're just going to skip past that. So, pellets is really a personal preference. Some people in the comments are going to say they should feed pellets. Some people say you should. What was that? Some people say you should not feed pellets. Like I said, it's really a personal decision, and you should really decide, like, do research about it. When I first started learning about rabbits, I planned on feeding pellets. Like, some people feed pellets, like veggies in the morning, pellets at night, or pellets in the morning, veggies at night. Other people feed veggies in the morning, veggies at night, and then pellets as a treat. And some people just feed veggies in the morning, veggies at night, and absolutely no pellets, which is okay. All of those are okay, except for the first pellet one. That one's not okay. Oh no, never mind, not the first one. The first one is okay if you want to, but the one I was like talking about, which is not okay, is feeding just pellets, because rabbits get a lot of nutrients from their leafy greens and from their hay, and they need hay. It's 80% of their diet, because if you don't know, a rabbit's GI tract, it always has to keep moving, which is why rabbits poop constantly, because food is always going through their body. So, because food is constantly always going through their body and coming out of their body, because they need to have food in their GI tract at all times, no matter what. So that's why it's very, very important to make sure that your rabbit is always eating hay. If your rabbit is not eating their pellets, then you don't have to feed pellets. Some rabbits have extreme reactions to pellets and can't tolerate it in their GI tract. So don't feed pellets if your rabbit has extreme reactions to that. And like the pellets go slower through their GI tract, so you really have to make sure that if you feed like a big like chunk of a lot of pellets, and then feed hay right after, or veggies right after, or your rabbit eats that right after, they could potentially get an upset stomach because the pellets are going through and the veggies are trying to go through, and the veggies move by faster and so does the hay. So they're like getting blocked by, and the pellets are going slow, and the veggies are trying to go, but they can't because the pellets are there. Because pellets move 2 to 3 times slower in the dry chuck than pellets do. So you really have to make sure that your rabbit is, you know, taking it well. Some people feed a 1/4 cup of pellets on top of veggies. Would not really recommend that just because it is quite a lot of pellets. If you're feeding a tablespoon or half a tablespoon of pellets and then feed veggies, it's not a really big deal because it's a small amount of pellets. But you can feed veggies like in the morning and then feed pellets after. That's normally what I do. So I'll just like wake up, feed her veggies at like, I don't know, like 5:30, 6 o'clock, and then I'll feed her pellets normally 20-30 minutes later so that her veggies can go through, and then her pellets will just follow, going slower. Hope that made sense. So that is just kind of the basic outline of pellets for rabbits. It's kind of a longer video. I'm probably not going to edit it this much because it doesn't really need to be edited. But yeah, that is basically the outline of, I guess, pellets for rabbits. So, quick overview. They do move slower in your rabbit's dry chuck, so you really have to monitor that. You shouldn't feed solely pellets. You should feed hay and veggies no matter what, and then pellets is an option. Pellets are more so considered as a treat. You shouldn't feed more than a 1/4 cup of pellets every day because pellets are really not necessary in a rabbit's diet, and if you give too much, your rabbit can end up getting really, really obese. You shouldn't feed alfalfa pellets to rabbits past 6 months of age. I personally recommend 3 months, but it's up to you. 3 or 4 months is more so the better option because you can slowly take your rabbit off of alfalfa and then put them onto Timothy pellets. Like I guess alfalfa and then like 1/4 alfalfa, 3/4 Timothy, and then after like a week do half and half, and then after a week do like 3/4 Timothy, 1/4 alfalfa, and then after a week like that just do all Timothy. Same thing with hay. This is not about hay. I can make a video on hay if you want, but this is about pellets. Anyways, this video is a really long chatty video, so thank you so much for watching if you stayed to the end, and I will see you all next time. Bye!